Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Okay, so I'm going to give my 2 cents here on this Charlie Kirk assassination here. First of all, I just want to get this off the table right off the bat, okay? One of the things that came to mind about this after I heard about it was, boy, Trump will do anything to get Epstein off the fucking news, won't he? And at first, it was kind of like a joke, you know, I was saying to myself, but then I was thinking, you know, it really isn't a joke, because Trump is that kind of guy that would do something like this. I mean, how do we know? You know, he didn't get some asshole to go out there and do this because he knew Charlie Kirk and knew, you know, how you know, he's got followers and how that would incite more anger, you know, in the country and get the media's attention as well and shift it onto that. You know, it would certainly work in his favor. Okay, because then people will, for a while, will at least stop talking about Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, and then of course when Trump gets on the TV and he says what he said, you know, basically saying, oh, I'm going to just, you know, essentially shut down anybody that tries to, you know, speak ill of the Republicans or me or whatever. Okay, well, that also plays into his hand, because now it gives him an excuse, more or less, to attack the First Amendment, which is what most Republicans over the years have always hated in this country, is the First Amendment. They don't like it when Democrats speak out against them, okay, which is what motivated them to create, you know, talk radio and stuff like that, and Fox News and all that. They want their voice heard over everybody else's, okay, and that's been the thing about them for a long time. All right. So yeah, am I saying that Trump was behind this? No, I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me if it was. If he was, I mean, hey, so what if it's one of his fellow supporters? It got everybody pissed off. They had a fight in Utah or whatever, the Capitol last night, you know, because somebody drove by on a on a fucking moped and screamed fuck the guy, you know, basically. And it started a fight. We got into a big fight, you know. And so, I mean, yeah, of course, there's like 100,000 videos on YouTube about it from different angles you can look at. But yeah, I mean, so you see, it put more gas on the fire. Now, the other part of this thing, the idea that he got killed by a gun is ironic as all merry hell. Okay, this was a guy who went around talking ill of people who had suffered the trauma of losing a loved one or a child or somebody to a gun crime. Okay, and he had said that, you know, why, you know, if to protect the Second Amendment, you know, we have to keep it even if it kills people, because that's more important, okay, or words to that effect, okay? I'm not saying this as a quote, I'm just saying basically over the years. I mean, look, I never really followed this guy day by day by day. I would pick up things that he said in sound bites and stuff like that here and there, and, you know, like when I listen to like Ann Coulter for once in a while, you know, or I pick up sound bites from her, I don't follow them, but whenever they say something that's really outrageous and it gets everybody pissed off, that's when I see this stuff. So he said things like that, okay? And I just find it really ironic that this guy who advocated for people to have guns, even in the face of gun crimes and gun shootings and, the school shootings and stuff like that, which we had another one here this week, I believe, that at the end of the day, it was somebody that shot him in the neck. And, it's weird that the guy, I guess they figure that the guy was like 200 yards away when he shot him in the neck. And it's like, well, that's not like your average citizen to try to take a shot like that at that distance, okay? I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm just saying, usually, these homemade assassins, I mean, they don't spend time with a rifle every day target shooting or something like that. It just seems like, was this a professional hit? Okay, was this a guy hired to do that? Because as I'm recording this now, they haven't found the guy yet, which means they had some kind of an escape plan for afterwards to go and hide. All right, which means they thought this out. Could be more than one person involved here. All right, may not be just a shooter. It could be, a couple of guys or a group of people. Who knows? But the thing is that it shows that the level of anger that's out there. Now, everybody on the right wing is already accusing the person of being a Democrat that shot him. Well, they did this the last time about when Trump got shot at one of his rallies, and then it comes to find out that the guy was actually a Republican, a former Republican or something like that. Okay, so I have to put it like this. It's not Democrats that are the ones advocating for everybody to have a gun. It's Republicans. So when there's a gun crime, wouldn't it stand to reason that the most likely person would be a Republican or a conservative thinker that's involved? Why do they automatically assume it's a Democrat? No, they're saying that because they want to entice people. They want to get people upset and angry and start fucking fights out on the damn street is what that is. Okay, against anybody that's, not upset, okay, about this assassination here. I feel like, there's a lot of ways you can look at this thing here, and there's a lot of ideas you can come up with about it, but it isn't so cut and dry. And the reason that being is because of the times we're living in. We got a lot of toxic government shit going on right now. And there's a lot of hatred out there for what is passing for government these days. And it could be anybody. It could be anybody. Hell, it could even be somebody from another country. I mean, we don't know. I mean, Trump has pissed off every demographic in this country here to date. He really has. Everybody, even Republicans. So how the hell do we know for sure that it was a Democrat? You can't say that. You really can't. In the last 7 months, that man has pissed off every fucking class of people in this country, even the wealthy. Okay? So that opens the door very wide as to who the suspect could be. Very wide. But, the narrow-mindedness of the MAGA cult movement out there is astounding, because they want it to be a Democrat. They want it to be a Democrat so that way they can come out of the woodwork and justified revenge, okay? Revenge killings. That's what they want. I mean, they've been itching for a fight, for a fucking civil war in this country for years, and they want this to spark the fucking war that they dream about all the fucking time. Okay? Think about that for a minute. They even wrote books about it. So, I'm telling you right now, it's no big fucking mystery to me. In fact, to me it seems like this was inevitable. When you come out and say the nasty things that this guy said, okay, over the years, and he was what, 30-something years old or something? I mean, the fucking guy wasn't that old. But when you go around and you make your living on weaponizing your views and starting fights, eventually the cycle turns and karma comes back. Okay? Now, I'm guessing this guy here, he grew up listening to Rush Limbaugh and was like, oh, boy, this guy made millions of dollars, you know, just sitting behind a microphone all day and just yep. Well, geez, now I can do that and I won't have to bust my ass to make a living, I suppose. If that's the way you want to go down in history. But I guess, you know, with the Republicans, talking heads are more important than actually getting out and doing any work or helping people or, you know, contributing to your society. They'd rather sit behind a microphone or in front of a camera and just sit there and mouth off bullshit all day, okay? They find comfort in that, I guess. And this guy, it never crossed his mind that one day maybe he's going to say the wrong thing and somebody's going to get pissed and, you know, put him down. You know, it's very strange that that the Republicans just do not see the irony here behind this. And what was it? So I read a comment somewhere saying that the Republicans just lost the gun debate again. Okay. And it's like, yeah, I know, for the umpteenth time. Okay. Every day they lose that debate because as they sit here and defend people's right to have a gun, a crime is being committed somewhere involving a gun, and it's killed a lot of innocent people, and they'll still sit there on that same pedestal and say we should keep the guns, we need the guns, we need the guns. You know what I think about that. I already said that in the last video, how I think that the solution to this is right in our face, and we just ain't got the moral courage as a nation to actually implement that change, you know. So it's what can I say? There'll be a lot more incidents like this to come, and I foresee that there's going to be more anger over this, at least for now. Trump's going to try to capitalize on it, at least for now. Okay. All I can say is that, you know, people that are out there that do these political commentaries and stuff like that, you know, you're gonna, unfortunately, you're gonna have to dial back your rhetoric. I mean, and that includes even the Democrats and stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie and say that that this guy was, you know, a nice guy. He wasn't. I mean, yeah, everybody's always afraid to talk ill of the dead. Well, I'm not. Okay, I don't lie to people. Okay, this guy here, Charlie Kirk, he was really a hateful person. Okay, I don't know why he was that way. Okay, I couldn't tell you. Maybe he was abused when he grew up. You know, maybe his father beat the hell out of him all the time. Maybe he was influenced by all the wrong people, you know, depending on where he grew up. I don't know. I really don't know why he was the way he was and why he would say these nasty things about people suffering. Okay, the same thing, you know, about that other guy there, what's his, Alex Jones, you know, and why he said the things he said about the Sandy Hook thing. Why do these people say shit like that? I couldn't tell you. Okay, maybe the likes that they get on their videos are more important to them than the lives that they destroy saying what they say. I don't know. But clearly a person that's doing that is obviously demented. He needed help. He needed to grow up. He needed to experience life more. Okay? Having a wife and a kid does not make an adult. The things that he said was revealing in itself that this guy was a fucking idiot. Okay? And he was going around peddling his idiocy for money. That's how he made a living. Okay? And unfortunately, that's going to be his legacy. It's pretty bad, if you ask me. Charlie Kirk wasted his life doing something stupid to create a dumb legacy. All right? I mean, I would say his legacy is even lower than Rush Limbaugh's, you know. But with Charlie Kirk, I feel like, you know, he could have been something better than that. He could have been. He was young enough to have learned better. But he tried to peddle himself as a Christian and all that, and that just didn't fly. Okay, Christians are not supposed to be that cold-hearted. Okay, they're not supposed to be, although many are. But yeah, he's a guy that really did not contribute much goodwill in this country, and that's the reason why a lot of people don't like him. You know, would you hang around with somebody that was constantly criticizing and beating up people or saying stupid things all the time? Would you hang around with somebody like that? These people that follow him would never hang around with this guy publicly. They listen to what he says and they absorb the shit that he says, and that says a lot about his followers. You know, these people are malleable, can be influenced easily. All right, they obviously don't have, you know, much going for them mentally or whatever. So yeah, a guy like Charlie Kirk is going to pick up all these lost souls out there, and you know, make a killing off of it. You know, that's how it goes. But you know, we as the rest of us have to identify these folks for what they really are, okay, and stop listening to them. Stop listening to these people. Anybody that sits there and applauds, you know, somebody getting killed by a gun, that's a lost soul. That guy does not have the right to actually breathe the air we breathe. Okay, I really don't think that. If we want to have a civilized society, we have to cleanse our society of folks like this, because they will continually poison the fucking water with their shit. And we got enough of that. Aren't you all fucking sick and tired of that shit? I mean, I know I am. And, you know, we can be better than that. We really can. So, I don't know when that'll happen, when it'll change, but I know things aren't going to get any better for a while. We still got 3.5 more years more with this friggin' jackass we got for our president. And as long as he's sitting in the White House, he's going to incentivize more of this rhetoric that Charlie Kirk was selling. That's what we can expect of. So, that means there'll be more violence. There'll be more of it. So anyway, that's all I got to say about it. So talk to you guys later. Take care.